So I think that in the prelim task, the camera work was definitely a lot more shaky than it is in the horror opening. I feel like it was a lot more stable in what we've done in the opening, and I feel like the camera work in general with the different shots worked a lot better in the horror opening.
Yeah, I think Phantom's the cinematography in Phantom was a lot more original.
Yeah,
it had more going for it than it did in the prelim.
More diverse. I feel like it was more generic with the opening. We weren't really thinking outside.
It was very much sort of here's the character and here's like there wasn't anything interesting in it.
I mean, for example, we used the dolly in Phantom
for the kitchen shot where
so
he's walking in and out of the kitchen.
That already brings it up to another level. It makes it more interesting.
So the one area I think we improved on when we went to a Phantom was the lighting of the piece, because I think, in the prelim a lot of it was sort of in darkness, and a lot of the things that were happening were sort of, you couldn't see them that way, you couldn't make them out.
I think that at the time we thought it would add atmosphere, but really it kind of made it more difficult to work with. But in the opening, we realised that it didn't have to necessarily be in pitch black darkness to create a horror atmosphere.
You need the light there so that the dark has something to contrast with. Because if everything's dark, then there's nothing
to compare it to.
Yeah,
it doesn't really add anything more.
Which is why the kitchen is slightly lighter than, say, the living room and the hall, because that sort of allows us to have a divide there.
Another thing that really stood out for me when looking back at the prelim is how having a different location developed the story a lot better. I feel like in the prelim we were restricted due to the limited space, and while it was a simple premise, like there wasn't much story, there was no dialogue, and it was the prelim task. It was very short. I think
the fact that we were in such a small room limited us in terms of what we could do with a camera.
Definitely.
Because we couldn't sort of go for those long shots and linger on that for a while. We had to sort of be up close and personal with everything.
What also helped being in a house is that we could use different parts of it. We used like the kitchen, and that's why it's lit lighter, it's meant to be safer, and then the hallway and the living room are darker, and that's where the horror is. We could make a distinction between the various parts of the house. It just made it more interesting. We could be more diverse with shots as well. It made the character development come through as well, because you saw him go through the different parts of the house.
Yeah, and I think the prelim didn't really look like the sort of place that there would be an interrogation, because at the end of the day it was essentially just a room that we'd sort of come across and decided that's where we were going to do it. But Phantom was sort of built from the ground up with that area, with that house in mind. So I think that really helped us. Yeah,
it helped with, again, the dolly shot. We wouldn't be able to do stuff like that in a smaller room, but because we had the hallway leading into the kitchen, it meant we could be more creative with what we were doing.
Yeah, and because we knew the area we were sort of working with, we could say in advance that we wanted to get something with the dolly in there and work around that. So
it also links in well with the conventions of horror films, the idea of the horror coming into your house, coming into where you feel is safe. It plays on that a lot. It's kind of inspired by classic horror films that do that. So
I think another area that we improved on from the prelim to Phantom was the editing, when it came to sort of the tone and setting that up. Because, the prelim was just sort of two people in a room, and it was cut and edited very sort of
shot by shot. It was just each shot after the
sort
other.
of here's what's happening, here's the story. Whereas we have the opening, the opening of the opening of Phantom, where you've sort of got the credits and we're going through the house and there's those images flashing up and sort of it's distorted and weird and
it draws more on the horror aspect.
Yeah, it's made to put the audience on edge, and I think it does that quite well. And it sets up a tone for the movie before the movie's even really begun.
Yeah.
So I think that's something that we've really hammered home.
Yeah.